Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gaming the System, the podcast where three intersectional feminists examine gaming and games through a feminist lens. I'm your host for today. I'm Jem and I'm here with my friends Alex and Matt. So before we get started, if you want to support us, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/gaming the system for some exclusive content, or you can send us a one-off donation via PayPal to our email address, wearegamingthesystem@gmail.com.
For one that's a little bit more accessible to a broader audience, not quite so violent topics, I was actually going to recommend Disney's Dreamlight Valley because it technically it's not from this year, because technically it came out at the end of 23, but it was December 23, so I think we can hook it in. It's certainly in the last calendar year, so I think it's a really good game in so much as it's just the Disney universe. Now, I know there are some issues with the Disney universe, but they have been making strides in recent years to be more inclusive in their films and storylines, and that comes through in the game. You get to interact with all of the characters, all of your sort of like main characters from the world of Disney, and you play a youngish person, not a child, and you can make that person how you want them to look, and there's no sort of, it doesn't matter what their gender is, and the clothes are very neutral if you want them to be. I mean, you can definitely run around in a very floofy pink frilly dress, but you can also spend most of your time running around in dungarees or jeans and a t-shirt. You know, it's like there's not. I just think that as it's not necessarily a game that people would point to and say, "Oh my gosh, this is doing all of the things," but it's just very gently being inclusive, being open, and being accessible to a broad range of ages and genders and personal tastes and things like that. So I know small people that have been playing this, and I know bigger people that have been playing this, so I think it clearly does have an appeal. And I think that the only thing that I would say, which is a problem with it, and I was really hoping that they would have fixed it over the last year, is that large portions of the conversation are not voiced. So it's text-based. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they do have, apparently they got the original actors in to do a lot of the voices. So the original, the people that originally voiced all sorts of main characters from Disney have actually done the sound. So they sort of say little things. They say like a little sentence here and there, but they don't speak their whole text in the same way that the characters from Baldur's Gate do, for example. And I think that's a real shame. Firstly, from an immersion perspective, but also from an accessibility perspective, because it does make it harder for people who maybe don't have as good eyesight, or for younger children who can't read. I mean, there's a lot of people for whom it would just solve. And I was really hoping that they would have recognised that in the last year and just added to it, because they've been constantly expanding it. So it's a real shame. But I think other than that, I would definitely recommend that game, but perhaps not to somebody who would enjoy God of War. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a nice palate cleanser. Yeah. The other one, which is just very briefly mentioned, is that I would recommend would be Chained Together. Just because I think that has been a really... It's the characters, although you can play different genders, they're not sexualized in any way. It's just they're just getting on with it, and so it's nice. The only thing I haven't seen is I don't know. I don't remember seeing anything about skin tone when we were choosing our characters, but I mean, so that's the only thing I think. I don't know if they've done anything with that, but yeah, I think it's a fun game. It promotes team play. It might promote arguments, and it's I mean, I found it quite difficult to play on the keyboard, but I don't know.
I think anyone would find it very difficult to play on the keyboard. I think it's designed for controller, honestly, but I find it much easier on controller.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt I would recommend that one as well, and that one's very cheap, so there's no excuses. Did you have any more, Matt, or are you? You don't have to. It was.
No, I think. We'll come on to a little bit more when we talk about the gaming gifts.
Yes.
Because that's where my
well, let's do that then.
Spoil that.
Let's do that. So, what would be the ultimate gaming gift?
Well, it depends on budget, I think. I think if your budget is large, then you should definitely consider storage of both the physical and digital types. I have just been gifted a SSD for the inside of the PlayStation 5 that has a heatsink. That's very important. Everyone was telling me it needs to have a heatsink. And it's got a whole terabyte of space, which I can now put games onto. Which is great because I've literally just run out of console storage, and I've got a couple of external hard drives that I can plug into the back of the PlayStation. But obviously I forget which games are on those. And then, you have to constantly swap them around and things. But 1 terabyte is a nice amount for the time being. It'll probably last, I don't know, maybe, hopefully at least a few years. Because, these things are not cheap. They're definitely not on the lower end of the budget. But they definitely help if you don't like deleting your games, which is something that some people have to do sometimes to free up space. Because a lot of games that we play are very large in terms of the...
They're insane these days, aren't they? I mean, they're just huge.
I remember when I was a child, buying the disc, putting it in, and then it would be fine. But even with the disc, you have extra stuff you need space for. So, definitely digital space. And then the physical storage space would be amazing. Like, even if it's, one of those units that go around TVs, where you can have space for your games, like in physical form. You could have maybe display sections for all your gaming goodies, statues, plushies, and the like. Various other bits and pieces, place to charge your controllers, spaces for other types of consoles maybe, and various other things that you use the TV for. And then also you could the amount of trouble that people go to deck out their gaming shelving is, you get one level and then there's a whole other level. And they're just really keen to show off how much of a nerd they are, which is but there's all sorts of ones with like LED lighting. So, the world's your oyster in terms of storage if you've got a big budget. If you want to show off your gaming stuff, that's definitely a great gift for a gamer.
I like that. Storage.
Yeah.
Physical and electronic. What about you, Matt?
So first thing, if you know someone who loves a particular kind of game, and parents, grandparents, you should know, if your child or grandchild is a gamer, you should know everything about all the games that they play. If you want to build a positive relationship with them, work out shit about the games that they love, because that's a way in.
It's true.
And so if someone likes old people go, oh, the young people these days, I just don't get them. You're not trying. There has never been more information about what your people in your family are doing. Do the work. You've got to do the work. And so this is the BB from Death Stranding, and my mum and my sister came across these fabulous trans rights stickers. This one is on reverse, but it says, "Respect my pronouns or I will identify as a problem."
I love that.
So good. So good. So knickknacks like that are awesome. If you've got £2,000 to spare, get a cutting edge gaming laptop like I managed to get myself last year. I've had it for a year now.
Wow.
Completely changed my gaming life. Get that, moved from PlayStation for my entire life to pretty much exclusively laptop, and playing. You never go back once you've played at 4K at 60 plus frames a second. It's wild. And then, so that was £1,500, and then for £500 you get yourself a proper ultra wide monitor, and then you can have laptop you could run the fucking CERN reactor thing out of it, and a beautiful monitor as well. It's one of those things that you don't know what you're missing out on until someone talks you into it. So that's what I would give to any gamer.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have all of those. I'll have all of that. I tell you what, I actually do have this, but but I would definitely gift it. You see, I mean, we're very anti-capitalist on this show, and I do appreciate that this is a little bit against that. But gaming kit is gaming kit. It's coming up to Black Friday, and one of the things that is often on sale in Black Friday are the Hue lights, and they're Sony, aren't they, Hue? But you can get other ones, but they're the smart lights that can change colour and do all sorts of funky things. And we have a light strip, and we have light bulbs in our main lounge lights, and they're excellent because it means that if you're in one area and you want more light in that area of the sitting room to somewhere else, you can change it, so you can make it work for you, whatever you're doing. If one of you's reading, you can have it on focus or concentrate or whatever, and it doesn't have to be at the same level for other people. So it's really good. But I tell you what, the best thing is that I can hook my computer into them, and so when I'm gaming, I can set it up so that it changes the lights in the room depending on what's going on the screen in my game. And I love it. So when I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 in previous months, I would basically just, in the evenings, I would do that, and I'd sit there, and if I walked into a sort of fiery space, it would all be flickering fire, and it would be bright light, and it's just really nice. And I know you can get them to go round TVs and things like that, and monitors, and I don't have that round mine, but we did get that for my daughter last Christmas. Definitely worth doing because they're so practical. They're just, I mean, they're not cheap, but they are worth it. And so, that would be the gift I would give. But the other thing I would give would be a sit-stand desk, because it's very important that we don't spend the whole day sitting. And if you have a sit-stand desk and you've been gaming for a few hours, which I've been doing a bit more gaming over the last few months, and I find that I'd be sat there and I'm like, I can't quite get comfortable. And, I've got a really good gaming chair, but even then I'm still like, oh no. So, and I've got a sit-stand desk, so I just up it and then and then I can stand up a bit, and I've got a mat with a roller ball thing on it, so I can massage my feet and all of that. And it's just really good. It's really, really good to have that. So yeah, that would be but I mean, they are very expensive, but not quite as expensive as Matt's laptop and monitor. So you might have to get it over a few years.
The standing desk is the third thing on my list that I want. Yeah. Although I was slightly put off it because I saw my GP recently, and he's got one. And I thought, I told her, that must be really good for just being sat down all day. So, it's actually it stops you falling asleep as well, which is super dystopian. That's what all office spaces will be like in the future. It's good. We want you to stand up while you're working. It's probably why factory workers aren't allowed to sit down.
No, that is true, but it's that. Yeah, I suppose
I won't be put off.
So if you get like one of those steppers, you can do some exercise at the same time. Actually, I find it quite good for like, not just like I have it at a certain level if I'm gaming on it, but then I put it a little bit lower, have it sort of between desk height and standing height, and I can use it for doing crafting, and so it's just really useful, really, really useful. So anyway, right, that's enough of that. So what would you buy what gift would you give to your non-gamer loved ones that hooks into gaming, either that would get them on board with gaming, or that just has a really obvious gaming link?
So I would find out something that they loved doing, whether that be a hobby or just something they're really into. So it could be any number of things, and then find a way to tie it into gaming. And I thought of several examples. There's cookbooks. You could buy them a gaming cookbook based on a video game. There's obviously just normal books where you've got like the stories around video games. There's plenty of fictional/non-fictional books about games that would be really interesting to read. There's obviously one of my favourite things, which is gaming music. You could take them to a gaming music concert if they love music concerts, which is great. There's art. You could look at gaming art, concept art. There's been a few exhibitions in museums around the country. There's also the other side of it, the scientific side. If they're super into things like coding and programming and AI, there's like documentaries they could watch. But then they'd probably already be into gaming if they're into that, I would reckon. But yeah, those are the ideas that popped into my head. Just figure out what they like doing outside of gaming and tie it into gaming through that. That's how I would do it, I think. Yeah.
I like it.
My great success this year has been getting my mum and sister successfully gaming on a regular basis. My sister hadn't gamed for quite a while, but she's been able to reclaim it and really jump back into it. And my mum has been successfully taking command of it a bit more as well. And that was because I had a spare PS4, which I had a spare TV that we put in the conservatory, and they would go and they played It Takes Two together all the way through. That was their first sort of big game, and I was going to give them straight away my PS5, but then that's when I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 properly for the first time, so I needed a couple of weeks to have that, and then I moved them up to my PS5. And since they've been on that, they've finished their 21-hour playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2.
That's amazing.
It's so impressive.
Yeah, it blows my mind that the like going from zero to where they are now in the last 6 months.
Amazing.
And it was just providing an opportunity. Secondhand stuff is perfect with family stuff, and then. But the biggest, most awesome thing is I bought them a PlayStation camera and a microphone for each one. So they've been streaming like consistently for the last, like a couple of months. And so even no matter where I am, and they're gaming, I could be in fucking Tibet on a mountain, and it's like I'm in the room with them.
Awesome.
Oh,
And it's
so fun.
wonderful. And you'd never, because some people are like born to be on camera, and my mum and my sister, just the way the two of them interact just normally is just, it's endlessly entertaining. So being able to capture that has been something I never would have guessed a year ago.
oh, do you know what? I would love to have them. I would love to get them on to the show to come and talk about their experience. Yeah. Do you think?
I'll see what they think.
Have a chat with them.
Megan's very, very shy about it. We make sure that all of the streaming is private, so it's only for me. But I'll see what they think.
But yeah, I think that's one of the lovely things about what gaming can do, is that it's also great for bonding as well with friends and family. And it's obvious that your mum and sister get on really well anyway, but I think having this to do together, although you look like you're about to argue that, but go on.
It's been a long journey to where they are now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And there's a long journey to go.
Yes.
So
but
it's not
gaming
it's
is
not
part
as
of that now,
yeah.
so it's all
It
very
takes
exciting.
it's part of the conversation now.
Yes.
It's part of the dynamic. Yes.
Yes.
That's the perfect way to describe it. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, and books.
Books, yes.
Books and lore. Because my mum was listening to some of the Elden Ring lore, and she started listening to some of the Warhammer 40k books. Because if you like long form storytelling, there is so much like good lore stuff out there now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I'm going to break the mold, and I'm going to suggest that I would probably buy them Carcassonne, the game, because it's a really simple game that you can take around with you, because it's just a box of card pieces. So you can take it on holiday with you, and it's just a turn-based thing. Have either of you played it?
I've definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
I've not played it.
So you basically get little tiles, and you have little meeples. And the idea is that you place the tiles and you create cities and towns and a sort of map. And then you gain points depending on where you put your meeples and things like that. And it's really easy for everyone to kind of get their head around. I mean, there are expansions and it gets more complicated, but the base game is just really simple. But it's a really nice entry level game into playing just a different kind of game to your classic sort of Monopoly or the Snakes and Ladders or whatever, like board game, family board game. And it's different every time because it all depends on how the pieces are stacked, how the pieces are stacked and what everyone has their different styles for things that they're going for. And it's a really fun game that is extremely accessible to all ages and skill sets. So it would be a way to bring people into gaming, I think. And you end up with these really cool maps that I always want to create a story about, these random cities, like all in a circle. And you're like, what happened there? What's the story about this little strange area? So yeah, that would be what I would gift to a non-gamer. Has anyone got anything else they would like to add? No,
I don't think so.
I think hopefully we've given you a few ideas of the sorts of things that you might share with your friends and families. And I mean, as Matt and Alex have both said, gaming brings people together, and it's such a positive thing. And we know that the festive period can be quite challenging for people when you are brought together with family and friends that, under intense situations. And sometimes gaming is a way to help break that difficult silences or to change the mood up a bit. And sometimes it's a really good way just to escape from it all and just lock yourself in a room and and disappear into a game. So, take care of yourselves and enjoy this time. And remember that the joy is in the giving and not the receiving. Although we all quite like to receive occasionally. So, anyway, sending everyone love, and we will see you very soon. Thank you. Thank you both.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Gaming the System. If you want to support us, you can donate to us through our PayPal by sending it to wearegamingthesystem@gmail.com if you want to send us a one-off donation. If you want to donate to us monthly, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/gamingthesystem. Until next time, bye-bye.